Over the past decade, Orlando has continued to experience remarkable growth, with its population expanding by several percentage points every single year. And this rapid development has positioned the city as one of the fastest growing spots in the country. Now, while this is great for the local economy in Orlando, it has also led to an unbelievable surge in traffic congestion and a corresponding increase in car accidents. According to the Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles Crash Dashboard, the numbers of car crashes each year in Orlando are staggering. For example, in 2021 alone, there were over 401,000 car crashes in Florida, resulting in over 252,000 injuries and around 3,500 fatalities. In just Orange County, there were over 27,000 crashes in 2021, which resulted in thousands of injuries and over 200 fatalities. Car accidents cause immense hardship for victims and their families, and the physical pain, the emotional distress, and the financial burden can be overwhelming. If you or a loved one has suffered severe injuries in a car accident caused by someone else's negligence or reckless conduct, we're here to shoulder some of that burden for you. You don't have to face the aftermath of a car accident alone. Our legal team has helped plenty of people, just like yourself, across Florida, and we're here to fight for the financial compensation you're entitled to under Florida law. Now, in the rest of this video, we're going to cover some of the common questions and concerns people have after a car accident in Orlando. So let's get right into it. So here's a question. Can you pursue a personal injury claim in Florida after suffering injuries in a car accident? Well, if you've been injured in a car accident due to reckless driving or driver negligence, you may be able to pursue legal action against the responsible party. Specifically, you may be able to get compensation for financial losses like medical bills and lost work, as well as compensation for non-financial losses like pain and suffering, emotional distress, and loss of enjoyment of life. You can work hand in hand with your Orlando car accident lawyer to make sure all the damages you're entitled to are accounted for in your case. So how do you prove liability in a car accident? Well, you and your Orlando car accident lawyer will work together to prove the 4 key elements of negligence, which are duty, breach, causation, and damages. To successfully bring a claim of negligence, you need to be able to prove all 4 elements by a preponderance of the evidence. And this means that the burden of proof is on the injured person bringing the claim. Now, some of the more common types of negligence include things like texting and driving, or messing around with TikTok and driving, or speeding, or running red lights and stop signs, and drunk driving. However, there are many more ways that a person can be negligent behind the wheel and hurt someone else. So this is obviously not an exhaustive list. Now let's move on to the next question. Who can be held liable for injuries in an Orlando car accident? Well, in car accident cases, the negligent parties who breach their duty of reasonable care can be held accountable for damages under Florida law. It's typically the drivers involved in these accidents who are considered negligent by driving recklessly and breaking traffic laws. For example, speeding, or failure to yield the right-of-way, or running red lights, or driving under the influence are common examples of negligence that involve breaking the law. However, it's not always that simple, and not all accidents are caused by human error. For example, some accidents are the result of defective parts or inadequate vehicle maintenance. In these cases, the vehicle manufacturer, the parts manufacturer, or the mechanics who neglected to repair or replace a faulty component may be responsible. Now, in the state of Florida, even if you were partially at fault for an accident, you may still have the right to sue the other driver for damages. Now, Florida is a comparative negligence state, which means you can bring a successful claim if you were less than half at fault. But whatever recovery you get may be reduced by your percentage of fault. Now let's jump into the next question. Do you need an attorney to help with your Orlando car accident lawsuit? Well, that's going to depend on the circumstances. Generally speaking, if your injuries are severe and your damages are substantial, you should strongly consider speaking with an Orlando car accident lawyer. Remember, the insurance company has one goal: to pay you as little money as possible. And the insurance adjuster on the other side of your case has a tremendous amount of experience dealing with personal injury claims, because that's what they do day in and day out. That's their job. So they know how to get people to settle a case for way less than it's worth. And you're much more likely to get taken advantage of if you don't have a lawyer by your side. So here's the next question. Do the Florida no-fault laws allow people to sue for a car accident injury? Well, in Florida, drivers are required to carry a minimum of $10,000 in personal injury protection, or PIP coverage. And this covers things like medical expenses and lost wages, regardless of who was at fault. However, as you can imagine, that $10,000 in PIP coverage can be used up quickly when a person suffers serious injuries. And so these people often need to pursue compensation beyond the available PIP coverage. And that's where an Orlando car accident lawyer can help you out. All right, here's the next question. What kind of damages can a person get compensated for after an Orlando car accident? Well, damages can be divided into two main categories. You have economic damages and you have non-economic damages. Economic damages are generally thought of as tangible or financial damages. This can include things like medical bills, or lost wages, or rehabilitation costs, or if you want to think of it like this, something with a receipt. The other types of damages are non-economic damages, and these will include things like pain and suffering, emotional distress, and loss of enjoyment of life. Your Orlando car accident lawyer can work with you to properly add up all the economic and non-economic damages you may be entitled to under the law. That way, you can be sure that you're pursuing the proper amount of compensation for what you've been through. All right, let's move on to another question. What is the value of a car accident case in Orlando? Well, the compensation you may receive from a car accident claim will hinge on various factors, including your role in the incident, the severity of your injuries, the required medical treatment, and the impact on your mental well-being, your earning potential, and your day-to-day life. An Orlando car accident lawyer at our firm will thoroughly examine every aspect of your accident and the injuries you've suffered to provide you with comprehensive advice on the maximum amount of money you may be entitled to under Florida law. And here's the next question. How do I deal with insurance adjusters after an Orlando car accident? Well, as we talked about, insurance adjusters want to pay you as little money as possible or find a way to deny your claim. Thus, you should be very cautious when dealing with these folks, because whatever you say may be used against you to devalue your claim or deny your claim. Overall, having an Orlando car accident lawyer by your side throughout your dealings with an insurance adjuster can really help to ensure that your rights are protected. And next question. Should you accept a settlement offer from the insurance company? No, usually. Well, as we talked about, insurance companies are in the business of paying out as little as possible. Thus, if you're not working with a lawyer, the insurance company may try to bully you into a settlement that is much lower than what your case is worth. Even if you're working with a lawyer, the insurance company is probably going to try to delay paying you so that you feel financial pressure to accept a lower settlement. Ultimately, you and your Orlando car accident lawyer will work together to determine whether or not to take a settlement offer from the insurance company, and your attorney is going to work to push them to get that payment out, or at least they should. Now, let's talk about this. When should you hire an Orlando car accident lawyer? Well, generally, the answer is that you should hire a lawyer as soon as possible. That way, you can make sure that valuable evidence is preserved and gathered. Things like black box data and camera footage can get erased, and your lawyer can send out letters of preservation to make sure you don't lose crucial evidence. Additionally, if you get a lawyer involved early in the process, your lawyer can deal with the insurance company and take the burden of the legal process off your shoulders altogether. The final question we'll go over in this video is this. How much does it cost to hire an Orlando car accident lawyer? Well, we take cases on contingency, and that means that you don't pay anything up front. You don't pay anything unless we win. In other words, if we don't recover any money for you, you don't pay us a thing. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you want to speak with an Orlando car accident lawyer at our office, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to give you a free legal consultation and talk with you about what happened to you. All you have to do to get in touch with us is call the number below in the video description. Or you can look us up at www.carelessdriver.com. And thank you so much for sticking with it in this video, and we'll see you next time.